Hey y'all. Hey. It's been a minute. It's been too long if you ask me. I just decided to stop by and just kind of share and just catch up with you guys real quick on some of my experiences being on YouTube. I just said to share a few lessons. I'm just going to be sharing 5 lessons that I have learned so far from being on the streets of YouTube. Learned so far from being on the streets of. So first off, one of the few things that I would want to just discuss real quick is just talking about niching down. I feel like this one can take forever. So one of the few things that I've learned in my experience on YouTube in regards to niching is that if you do want to do YouTube and you already have a niche in mind, I would suggest that you go for that niche, especially if you're strongly certain that in 3 years from now, I'm still not going to be tired from this particular subject of what I'm discussing, which is, for instance, let's say, for instance, your niche is camera equipment or YouTube equipment or just content creator equipment in general. And you're certain that 3 years down the line, you have to literally be sure without a shadow of doubt that 3 years from now, you're not going to be tired of discussing this type of content or educating or giving value in this type of content. Then I'll definitely say you should stick to a niche. But in my experience and just from observing creators I feel that have gone ahead of me, I feel like niching is one of the few things that makes creators kind of feel burnt out, right? And I'm only speaking from experience because I started YouTube wanting to basically just do fashion styling content. And some people that know me personally were like, oh, yeah, why don't you do cooking? I was like, there are lots of people that cook, and I don't think, that's my forte, so to say. But I know that fashion or styling is something that you wake me up any moment and you're like, what outfit should I wear? I'm like, okay, what's the occasion? And I'm down for it. So I definitely felt compelled that, okay, this is what I should do. But then going into fashion content, I realized that it was quite time consuming in terms of you always had to do hauls, you always had to go to Zara to know what the latest was. It was just becoming draining, right? So, of course, you have to consider the lifestyle that you live. I'm a mom of three. I'm married, you know, and I also work. So I had to kind of take into consideration my lifestyle. Like, how is this feasible for me, in a few years? And there are seasons in your life. I mean, your kids always need you like every time of your life, but there are seasons where you know that you need to pour into your children. So you have to take that into consideration that what am I doing? That kind of thing. So I think for me, that was the one thing where I felt like I was starting to stress myself in regards to what niche I should stick with. Now I still love my fashion content. Like, don't play with me. I'm definitely like a fashion girly, but I just felt like I wanted to create content that regardless of um whether I have to go to the Zara or not, I could still just be in my house and film content, right? So I feel like, yeah, just be certain about the niche that you want to cover on YouTube. I know that YouTube is literally about you. Some people say vlogging doesn't pay and all that, but I see lots of vloggers, people, vlogging their lives, and people still watch and their channels are growing through vlogs. I know a couple of YouTubers that have subscribed to their channel based off of the energy or the vibe that I see on their vlogs. So I want to say, if you strongly believe a thing that this is what you should be doing without a shadow of doubt, regardless of what anybody else says, I would say go for it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that covers the aspect of niching down. Now, the next thing that I would want to talk about, like, niching is so like wide. It's not something that I feel like I will sit in this particular video or this particular live and just completely rule off. I feel like one of these days, actually, we should definitely like just discuss the ideology of niching as a content creator. That's a good one. I have to take that down. The ideology of niching down. Do you niche down or not? And one of the things that I've come to realize, speaking of niching, is that some people go into YouTube thinking, okay, I want to start off with this particular niche. And being as humans, we definitely evolve, right? So being that we evolve, you start to get tired. You're like, you know what, I'm really not feeling in the fashion mood. It's not, it takes a lot to, do your makeup, talk, record, change outfits, edit the videos, post, and then you get a discouragement when the videos are not doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah. So I feel like in the aspect of nation, it's something you literally have to think about. But I feel like there has been an evolution of lots of the YouTube gurus letting us know that niche might not necessarily be it. Okay, say for instance, even if you do want a niche, you also have the opportunity of doing like 5 pillars, or let's say 3 pillars of what you want to do, right? So do 3 pillars of what you want to do, right? Create those videos and then see how the flow goes. But be rest assured that without a shadow of doubt, that those 3 pillars are also content that you're not going to get tired of. Because I think as human beings, we are spiced up, right? We all have a variety of interests, so you can't just like limit yourself to just one particular thing, right? Except that thing is like your business, what your business is centered around. But if you're saying that, okay, I'm just going to do fashion all on YouTube, no vlogging, strictly fashion, based on my friends on this YouTube street and myself and my experience, I feel like it's definitely something that you're going to get tired of. I've seen lots of my fashion girlies switch over to like vlogging or just lifestyle or self-development content. So that's why I'm saying that you have to, be sure without a shadow of doubt that it's something that you want to do. I hope that covers niching. So aside that, what I've learned from being on YouTube as well is that YouTube has its own struggles mentally, that you have to be dealing with vanity metrics. You're going to have to be dealing with certain things like your mood and mentally. Oh my god, how many views did this video get? Did people like this video? How was the engagement? So I feel like that's something that you should definitely take into consideration, is that how am I going to be able to withstand this? It's always exciting to start a thing. That's what I always say. And one of my my mentors will say, it's very exciting to start a thing. When you start a new business, you're definitely, YouTube is like a business, yeah? So you start a new thing, you start a new clothing line, whatever it is, even a new relationship, right? You start it and you're like, oh my God, I love this. I love this person. But then down along the line, or like say on YouTube, because YouTube is like your baby, right? You start to realize that this baby also comes with its own challenges. I have to constantly nurture this baby, constantly feed this baby. It takes time, it takes love. But most importantly, you have to just give yourself time to grow and understand that, it depends on the time and season in life. You might be creating content around fitness, and okay, that point in time, like when I started my YouTube in 2020, everybody was home. So I saw this clothing challenge, and that was like one of the videos that did well on my channel. I started out as the fashion girly, and then I saw clothing. Everyone was doing clothing. And so I decided, okay, yeah, I'm gonna jump on this clothing thing, and boom, not knowing, me completely a novice, not knowing the implication that it will have on my channel, right? I went ahead and I did this clothing video. It blew up. And then I realized I had to keep up because people were subscribing to me, and I love them for that, right? But then I realized that this is something that I would have to keep doing in order to keep growing my channel. And because most of the people that were subscribed to me came off of the clothing video, I had to also feed them, right? So that's why I'm saying that you definitely have to be certain for sure. And in terms of jumping on trends, which is one of my next point, which is like my third point, that about one of the things that I've learned from being on YouTube, is if you're going to be jumping on trends on YouTube, you also have to know as well that trends have the capacity to either make or mar you. Yeah, you can jump on a trend that is not even in line with what you're interested in on YouTube or what you think you're doing, but because you see that this trend is particularly growing people's channels. Say for instance vlogging, you start vlogging takes a lot of work. Yeah, I shout out to people that vlog, because it takes a lot of intentionality when it comes to vlogging, because you have to remember to always carry a camera, even when you're doing the most basic things. Yeah, you also have to have a camera set up. So even vlogging itself requires intentionality. So you have to make sure for sure that what you're doing is something that you're going to want to continue in the long run, right? So even vlogging requires intentionality. So if you're jumping on trends, you're jumping on, say there's a fitness challenge, there's a vlogging challenge, October, December challenges, or whatever that people do, you have to know that you have to keep on with this trend, right? The trend can bring subscribers to you, but say for instance, I have a friend who her videos went viral based off of posting Beyonce's daughter one of her dance moves or so on Beyonce's tour, right? So because she posted Beyonce's daughter, people subscribe to her for that content. So my question is, what is going to happen to those subscribers? Are you going to keep, uploading those kind of content, or you just want the numbers to grow, right? So that's one of the bad things about trends. That's why I say trends can either make or break you. Shorts are going viral. You can go viral for shorts and people can subscribe to your channel. Speaking of which, my channel grew because I posted one viral content about a man that was and his daughter eating, right? So now these people subscribe to me from, say, from Indonesia or something, right? How do I make sure that those particular people are getting fed? Because they're subscribing to me for food related content, and I'm not really like a food content creator. You get what I mean? So that's why I feel like trends can definitely make or mar you. So you have to be careful with jumping on trends. So that's what I have to say in regards to jumping on trends or lifestyle. Another thing I've learned from being on YouTube as well is, in terms of monetization, YouTube is quite strict. I had like several strikes or copyright strikes on YouTube based off of content that I created. I just, I was so excited about a particular pastor that was handing over to his daughter, and I posted that content, not knowing I was going to be flagged. I just posted it as a short because I saw someone posting, and I saw that I was so moved. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine him passing out the mantle to his daughter? Because typically in the kingdom, or in business, people are always excited to pass it to their sons. So I was like, a daughter, yes, girls, it doesn't matter the sex of the child. And I was just excited. And then YouTube flagged me, stating here that it's a copyright strike. So you also have to be aware of certain things. There are certain shorts that I reposted because I saw other people on, reposting content from TikTok. So I posted a TikTok content that was not mine, by the way, which was wrong. I should have known. But I posted and I got flagged, got strikes. So you also have to be very, very careful about the kind of content that you put out. Okay. So you have to be very careful, regardless of if this trend is doing very well for others. I want to advise you, in my experience, right, that you don't always have to do what other people are doing. Now, I also told a few friends of mine, like, oh my God, this video is going viral for people and people are growing their channels like crazy. And I shared it to this, my friend, and her channel blew up, right? Now, after her channel blew up, I was like, oh my God, why isn't my working? Why isn't this working for me? It didn't work for me like the way it worked for other people. That should have been my cue to just, take down that video. But guess what? I didn't take it down. And then I got flagged again, which ultimately affected, my channel tremendously, because I got written up from YouTube about, a video that I posted that wasn't mine, and that this had so many implications. I had to face like a YouTube trial and stuff like that. So I would definitely say be careful, be very extremely careful. Also reposting content that isn't yours, that doesn't have your face in it. I have friends who have also reposted content that has their face in it, them reacting to other people's videos, and they still got, pulled off for it. So be very careful about the kind of content that you're putting out when you're jumping on trends. So that would definitely be another thing. So another thing that I want to talk about is the vanity metrics here on YouTube and how challenging it can be. I want you to know that sometimes some videos might not do well like you think it was going to do, but ultimately, even if those videos don't do well, make sure that what you're putting out there is of value. If you feel like what you're putting out there is of value, give it years. It might not even, take off that particular day. It might not take off that year. It might be the next year, right? You never know. But just keep putting content that is of value. That would be like my ultimate tip on YouTube. So I've talked about, I've talked about niching. I've talked about trends. I've talked about, I believe now I'm talking about the vanity metrics. I believe there was a point that I also discussed earlier. Mentally, how mentally you have to be prepared to be on YouTube. I was also talking about vanity metrics. Vanity metrics is in terms of the number of likes that your video gets, those kind of thing. I want you to know that even if the videos are not doing as it should, you never know the brands that are looking out for you. You never know what brand is watching you, right? Or what the YouTube algorithm is going to suggest to brands. For instance, you put a fitness video out there. I've been opportune to work with fitness brands. Doing my fashion related content, I've been opportunity to work with fashion brands as well. So I don't think I have like the most views, or I have views that are so much, but the opportunities that it has opened up for me to work with certain brands that I know could have never worked out for me if I was just putting myself in a box, right? I feel like definitely try your options. Try to think of yourself and your YouTube channel as a business, and to also see yourself as if you were a brand from a brand's perspective, right? In terms of, okay, if I wanted to say sponsor this content creator or maybe give them some business, what business would I, for instance, you're the brand, what business would I give this YouTuber? Seeing that you maybe, for instance, you sit down and you do like a reaction video, for instance. So how is that going? So that means that you're limiting yourself to basically the views from the reaction videos, as opposed to someone who walks to, goes to a hall, creates a hall, fashion hall. They're shopping. So fashion brands, clothing lines, clothing brands can always see them and say, okay, I want this person to also do a haul, displaying my pictures or my clothing. And if you also do like equipment and stuff like that, you can definitely see like all this equipment. The tech guys can also reach out. Any brand that is interested in like gadgets or having a content creator, showcase the benefit of using their equipment. So you also have to literally think about it in terms of business perspective. I tell you, and I kid you not, that the majority of content creators that I know that are doing so well, they are not relying on their AdSense money. They are relying on basically brands. Brands can literally feed you for a month, as in they can feed you, like pay you what your AdSense would pay you in a month and pay you probably more. So you also have to really literally think about that, right? So those are just a few of the tips that I feel like I've definitely learned on these streets of YouTube. And I just wanted to do a quick one and just come on here and just share with you guys a few things that I feel like I've learned from being on YouTube. I could be here all day and, share this, and talk all day about this. But I just feel like, let me just kind of, do this on probably like a weekly basis. And yeah, I'll probably be coming on every week. So if you do have any questions, I know that some people were expecting me to be live, and if you do have any questions or any topics that you feel like you would love for me to dissect or kind of get into details about, I would love to let me know in the comment section, so that I could definitely take it into consideration in my next live video. And I hope that this was beneficial to you. If it was, let me know as well what particular topic is. I know that, and this is just shout out to my content creators out there. I know that YouTube is a lot. I can tell you for free that YouTube is a lot that I wasn't even prepared for. But I definitely think that YouTube is also rewarding, extremely rewarding. So yeah, bear that in mind. And that's just like a word of encouragement to anyone out there to just be careful in regards to niching and really think about it, jumping on trends, and be prepared for the mental work that comes with vanity metrics here on YouTube as well. So with that being said, I know that I've been out of YouTube for quite a while. So this was just like my challenge to myself to just do this live video. I keep telling myself, oh my God, you have to, YouTube takes a lot. You have to, do your makeup, dress up and stuff like that. And being that some of us do work from home, it's just like it's really tasking, especially when you're burnt out. I was definitely burnt out from lots of challenges that I dealt with on YouTube last year. It just kind of threw me off. So I would just say that 2023 was my wilderness season. And yeah, it was my wilderness season, and I'll see how 2024 goes. Definitely hope to be putting up more content out on YouTube in 2024, and I hope that you guys will come along with me on my journey 2024. Let me know what kind of content you're subscribed to me for, what kind of content you'll be interested in. And if you're also a budding content creator and you also want to be a content creator and you need just free advice, this is not any master class or anything, but I've been on YouTube for 3 years and I don't think those 3 years are completely wasted. I feel like I can definitely give you value, one or two details that I feel like will be extremely exponentially helpful to you on your YouTube journey. So let me know if you need any comments. Feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I'm also extremely active on TikTok. So definitely check me out. It's been my pleasure. I feel like bye.